Why is it considered a treasure? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, قُلْ مَا يَعْبَأُ بِكُمْ رَبِّي لَوْلَا دُعَاءُ. Allah doesn't care about you if it wasn't for your dua. If this dua can't be taken for granted, why would Imam Zainul Abidin salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh, when he wasn't able to speak up after the tragedy of Karbala, take the dua as the means to deliver the message to the mu'min? Why? So the dua in general is a great treasure that Ahlul Bayt would trust it with special of their, one of the special of their companions. For example, dua Kumayl. Because Kumayl ibn Ziyad was such a respected companion to Amir al-Mu'mineen, he deserved to carry this treasure so he can protect it, so we can receive it. So every center that opens, the first program that they take care of is the program of Dua Kumayl. Same thing for Abu Hamza al-Thumali. Abu Hamza al-Thumali was the companion of 4 Imams. Imam al-Sajjad, al-Imam al-Baqir, and al-Imam al-Sadiq, and al-Imam al-Kadhim salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh. He was one of the companions that the Imam told them when they're going to die, as Abu Basir visited the Imam, and he told him, the Imam, the first question he asked about the mu'min, he asked about Abu Hamza al-Thumali. He said, how did you leave Abu Hamza? He said, I left him sick. He said, tell him that there is, after a few days, at the day this and that, he will die. Then the Abu Basir said to Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, he said that inna lakum bihi unsun, that this companion gives you tranquility. He said, Jawarullahi khayrun lahu, that being the neighbor of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is better for him. So Abu Hamza al-Thumali is not a normal person. He's not an ordinary person. Al-Imam trusted him with this dua. This dua is one of the ad'iyah of as-sahar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made special days for us. The month of Shahr Ramadan is the month of the change. Change in what matter? In which matter is Shahr Ramadan considered a month of change? Is it when it comes to my financial state? Is it when it comes to the way I deal with my family? No one needs to teach me about that. No one needs to teach me about how I improve my financial state, because I do it on a daily basis. Every day, every month, every year, I try to improve that. But where I'm falling short is the state with Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. The spiritual state with Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. So Allah makes special days that your dua will be mustajab, like Shahr Ramadan. And special times like as-Sahr, the time before the dawn. In the hadith in Mizan al-Hikmah, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi li dhikri sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The Prophet says that ثلاثة يحب الله أصواتهم. 3, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves their voice. The first one, صوت الديك, the rooster's voice, because it reminds people of the prayer times. وصوت قارئ القرآن, the voice of the Quran reciter, and the voice of the person who wakes up at the time of the Sahar, which is before the dawn, so he can supplicate to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. Al-Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, he speaks of Luqman al-Hakim, the wise. He said to his son, Ya bunay la yakun ad-diku akyasu mink. Oh son, don't allow the rooster to be smarter than you. He would wake up and supplicate to Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, and you would be asleep. Everyone knows the famous story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, where his brothers, they took him and threw him in the well, and he was taken by the travelers, and they sold him, and then later on he became a king. And then when his brothers went back to their father to seek repentance, what does the Quran say? When they asked their father to seek repentance for them, to ask Allah to forgive them, he said, سَوْفَ أَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ رَبِّي. Sawfa, it's a future tense. And sawfa is for doing something in the far future. In the tafsir, when he said to them, I will ask Allah to forgive you, it means in the tafsir that he said, I will wait until the time of sahar so I can ask Allah to forgive you. And that was a factor that Allah forgave. So the time of sahar is the best time of dua, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the standard of success in the eyes of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala is what? Is it my wealth? Is it my beauty that I always look after? Is it my family? Is it how many kids I have? These are not the standards that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look at. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at the heart. When the Quran says, إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Those, the successful ones on the day of judgment,